Orphan was shot so well. There were a lot of scenes that were done the way close-ups were happening. There were some scenes. There's a hospital scene where the camera just zooms in on Esther. I saw that previously on the Insidious movies, the first two, and I actually really love that special effect, the special cinematography effect. That's those close-ups that happen in horror films. I really like that effect. No, I don't. I love that effect. And I also love the acting in this story. All the acting is convincing, especially the children actors. Ariana Engineer plays Max, who is the youngest in the Coleman household. The Colemans, yes, that's the family that adopts Esther, the Colemans. Ariana Engineer plays the youngest child, Max, who has partial hearing loss but can communicate with American Sign Language. Now, in real life, Anya Engineer in real life is partially deaf. So when you see her do the sign language and when you hear them saying she's deaf in the story, or partially deaf, she's partially deaf in real life. I really love how they include sign language in this story. I absolutely do. Sign language is something that it's worth learning, you know? And we've seen that in other films, such as Marlee Madlin's movies, Children of a Lesser God, Coda, and both Quiet Place movies, where sign language plays a major part in the Quiet Place movies. Ariana Engineer, show stealer. Why doesn't she get more recognition now? I don't know. Same thing with Isabel Fuhrman. She also doesn't really get much recognition, other than her performance in Orphan, the Hunger Games movies, and Dear Eleanor. Dear Eleanor, a movie that only a handful of people know about. What my favorite part is in Orphan, every scene involving Isabel Fuhrman, Esther. Esther is just one of those manipulative villains. 1 minute she'll be Miss Sweetheart, well, she'll pretend to be Miss Sweetheart, and the next she reveals her true colors. Another thing I like about this story, the disbelieving spouse. Movies like The Shining and the first Insidious movie feature that. I do know it's cliche in horror films how they'll say, oh no, how you'll have a young couple saying, no, that didn't happen. Either it's the husband or the wife, or sometimes the girlfriend, sometimes the boyfriend. I know it's a bit cliche, but I guess in this movie, for some reason, they just make it work. Being that Orphan is set in the wintertime, it's a good movie to watch in the wintertime. It's a snow movie. A really good snow movie. I like how snow plays a theme in some scary movies, like 30 Days of Night, The Thing, Orphan, and, well, Little Red Riding Hood, but that wasn't really a horror film, that was more of a dark fantasy film. Anyway, Orphan. I had this taped on my PVR once, but I had to delete it due to space issues. Orphan is worth renting from your library. And from the only Blockbuster left in the world. Blockbuster. I do remember Blockbuster. I'm old enough to remember Blockbuster. Everyone my generation is old enough to remember Blockbuster. Anyways, Orphan's good for Halloween, and it's good for winter. Seriously. I am glad I reviewed this in time for the prequel film, Orphan First Kill. Again, I really want to see Orphan First Kill because I want to see how or what special effects they use on Isabel Fuhrman, because this movie is 13 years old. Well, now it is. But in the years to follow, it's going to be, 14, 15, 16, movies age. Anyways, I want to see what kind of special effects they use on Isabel Fuhrman 13 years after Orphan. I want to see what they do.